Okay, it says we are live, so let's give it a minute or two and make sure everything catches up here where we want it to.
All right. Well, it's on my phone,
Oh, good.
but
You're
not so
as
far.
fast
So
as
my
I know
phone
you.
won. There we go.
Let's say I need to get it updated on my phone. My
And
computer is
now
very
I
slow.
see
There
it
it is.
also on the computer. So I'm just making sure I don't have any weird echoing going on, making sure everything's muted there.
Perfect.
All
All
right.
right. Success.
Yay. Oh, I'm going to turn on my hot foil system because I am hot foiling today.
Yes, and it's always so hard to remember that until like right as you start, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's time.
Right.
All right, well, welcome everybody. We are excited today. We're a week later than we thought. I know a couple weeks ago I'd announced last week was going to be our sneak peek live, but we had another one of those lovely little delays that we all love so much and pushed it out a week. So our release is going to be next week. So today is our sneak peek live of some of the fabulous and fun new things that are coming next week.
Yeah. So as you can see, Heather and I are both on camera. So we are not in the comments right now. So the person that's typing underneath the Pinkfresh Studio name is Kinnery. So she will be helping us out. She'll be moderating the comments. She'll be capturing all of the questions and such that Heather and I don't see once we turn the cameras around, because we do miss a bit. We try our best, but we do miss a bit.
It happens. It just does. Especially when we're both, and then we're also chatting verbally and crafting and trying to read comments. It's just the brain can only do
Exactly. Just a lot going on.
yes.
So, as Heather mentioned, we are going to sneak peek some things from our June release that we're excited to showcase. I'm going to be foiling. Heather, I believe, is going to be stamping and heat embossing, so you'll get to see it in different ways.
Yeah.
All right. I see we have quite a few people watching. Hey,
We also
everyone.
have a fun giveaway today. We've started sometimes doing this.
We do. So we don't do this every month. We do it some months, but in honor of our new upcoming release, we are going to give away the entire release to one lucky winner today. So, Heather, do you want to chat about how they get entries into the to win?
Sure, I can do that. All right. So the way, first of all, if you are new here, I'm going to say a big welcome now because, like we just said, we will probably miss that as we go along. But especially if you're new, let me go over how you have a chance to win. Usually it's a $15 gift card, but today it is the entire upcoming release that you can't even see yet. So the way you're going to enter for that is just what you're already doing. Chat in the comments, leave questions, leave comments, interact with everyone else in there. If you know the answer to a question that someone asks, then feel free to go ahead and pop in and answer that. Just have fun visiting and making friends in the comments. And then another way that you can enter is by sharing this video. There's a little share button underneath. It's at different places on phone and computer, so I'm not even going to try and point to where it is, especially since Lea and I are both on camera. I'll never find it. But you can just grab the link, or if you're in your browser, just grab the link up in your browser and go click and share that somewhere. It can be in a message to a friend, on your own social media. If you're part of a group and you know it's allowed, just double check the rules. We don't want you to get in trouble. Then you can click and share there and then come back, leave us a little comment and let us know that you shared. And then that's another entry that Kinnery will pick at the end of the live.
Yes, it is. So super exciting. So keep in mind, if you do win the entire release today, it'll probably be a little bit of time before we send it out, because we will send it out with the other grand prize winners that win actually during release weeks. But once you email me, I'll let you know all of that information. But I just wanted to reiterate that it won't ship immediately.
Yes, but it'll be worth the wait. That's the big thing. Do you want to talk about emails and likes?
Yes. Okay. So there's more of you here today because I sent the email out to kind of our bigger list. At the end of that, at the bottom of that email, though, after today's live information, I did put how to update your live preferences. And so if you haven't gotten a live email reminder in the past few weeks, that's because we're starting to send to the smaller group that's confirmed that they want to receive those emails. So if you want to keep receiving live email reminders, find your email from today. It just went out about 25 minutes ago. And at the bottom of it, pick and update your preference. And I've explained in the email how to update your preference. And that will be really helpful. And it also will make sure that you continue to receive emails about our lives if you want them.
Yeah, perfect. And then did you say the thumbs up, about hitting the thumbs up?
Oh, no, I totally forgot. And also, if you can give this video a thumbs up, it's not any extra entry into the giveaway or anything, but it just helps our videos reach both now and also when it's on replay.
Yep. And then one other thing I saw in the chat going by was talking about our upcoming holiday card making event, Create and Connect. So
Yes.
a little plug for that, that if you have not signed up and you want to, registration does close this weekend. There'll be another little window where we open it up that's more limited. So if you know you want to, I would definitely sign up now.
Yeah, so registration goes through this Sunday. So you have until then. And as mentioned, we do typically open up registration one more time, but it's typically a very small window. And typically at that point, quantities are limited.
Mostly because we have to order in advance. And so we have a few spares for all the last minute people that, you know.
Exactly.
Well, sure.
My hot foil system is all heated up.
So let's, I will go on mute and let you take over. And then when you're done, I'll switch over to Heat Emboss and then we'll switch our cameras around and get started. Okay. Actually, let's switch cameras first and then I'll mute myself.
Well, I'm not switching cameras yet.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I'm just going to do a quick
angle mine down.
Yep. I'm just going to quickly show that we're using. That was why I thought before. So just a quick peek at, that's the hot foil plate that Leah's going to use. And then we've got layering stencils, die, and this beautiful stamp set. It's called Delicate Rosebuds. And now I will mute myself and let Lea take over and take it away.
All right. So everyone, we are going to hot foil today with the, that's not the hot foil plate, with the Delicate Rosebuds hot foil plate. And of course, in true Pinkfresh fashion, you'll see Heather use that here momentarily, is we also offer the stamp set for those that don't hope hot foil or that actually want to have both options. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the hot foil. Look at how beautiful and whimsical that is. It's going to look even cooler once we foil it. So as you can see, my platform is heated up and it's ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place the hot foil onto the platform, and then I'm going to hit that timer button. And as you can see, the timer is blinking. And basically that is just heating up this hot foil plate. So then I know once it stops blinking, that's when I know that the hot foil plate is ready to run through and hot foil my paper. So while we're waiting for it to heat up, I'm going to grab my die cut machine and get that all set up so that we can run this through and we'll be ready to hot foil. So I am going to solid foil today too, but what we're going to do is we're going to split that up because it takes a little bit of time for the solid plate to heat up. So once I foil this initially, Heather is going to take over and she's going to do her stamping and heat embossing. And then, so while she's doing that, I'll have my solid plate heating up, and then hopefully that helps it. That's just like the best use of our time here at the beginning of today's live. So let me grab my die cut machine real quick, and we will get this initial part foil. So as you can see, the light stopped blinking. So that tells me that we're good to go. Today I'm going to be foiling in Halo, which is iridescent gold. It's got that nice rainbow finish to it. And I've already pre-cut a piece of foil and some stock to foil too. So my platform is hard to release from the base. So I like to release the platform first before I layer my sandwich down. So then I'm going to go ahead and layer the foil pretty side down along with the cardstock right on top. And then I'm going to add the two shims that come with it. So the frosted green shim, it's called the thin shim, is the heat resistant. So you want to put that one closest to the heat, and then the clear spacer pad on top. And then I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to transfer my sandwich over to my die cut machine and just run it through. So I'm only going to run this through my machine one way. I don't feel the need to go back and forth when I'm doing the standard foiling. And then I don't run the risk of any haloing or anything like that. And then let's take a look at the big reveal and look at how stunning that is. So I am going to take this, wrong side. I'm going to take the rosebud, delicate rosebud plate off. I am going to add my solid plate and I'm going to let it start heating up, but I'm going to mute myself and let Heather take over with the stamping while my solid plate does heat up.
Perfect. All right, I will unmute and now we'll hang out and you guys can see me. So I pulled my stamp set off of the backing, but I wanted to show you before I do this, it's not even a big deal. It's one little trick that I sometimes remember to do, sometimes I don't. But a lot of times I'll just kind of grab my stamp set and I'll do it like this, which works great. But then when you get ready to stencil, your stencils are all, I mean, you're not going to line them up with the corner alignments anyway, but it's always easier if your stencils kind of fit on square. So sometimes I will take and just pick one of my stencils. It really doesn't matter which one, and not perfectly, but kind of roughly line it up on there. And then I can put it on here so I can see that my stencil is kind of square. And then I can pull that off. And again, this isn't going to be perfect. It's still, I'm not going to use the alignment guides, but it's just going to make it a little easier to stencil. So just a little trick that I find helps me in my brain. Maybe that doesn't matter to you, but figure we can all use those little things. All right, as Lea mentioned, I am going to heat emboss. So I'm going to use my powder tool to get an anti-static for heat embossing that just kind of takes all the static off of your cardstock. So when you stamp, you won't have that embossing powder stick anywhere that you don't want it to stick. And then I've got my clear embossing ink. I'm going to make sure this is lined up really well in that corner. And I'm going to stamp a few times just to make sure that I have a good impression. I find with clear embossing ink, it's not hard, but it can be slightly tricky only because it's clear. You can't see if you have a good impression. You kind of just have to look for the reflection. So I always figure I'd rather stamp more, even if I don't need to make sure I have a good impression. So I'm not putting my embossing powder on and then at that point realizing, oh, I kind of messed that up. But it is very important if you're stamping multiple times, you always want to make sure that you're lined up again in that corner so that you don't end up with haloing and double stamping and everything being kind of crooked. So I'm going to go with 3 times. 2 was probably adequate. And of course, I'm using my stamp press. And then just will double check, kind of tilt that around and see that it looks like I've got a great stamped image. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out my scratch paper. Oops, I didn't just bring that. And I'm going to use, Simon Says it's antique gold embossing powder for mine for today. I could use any gold, but that one just seemed like a fun fit for this today. Get all of that sprinkled on really well. Make sure I've got a good coating. And then I will heat set this. Oh, wait, gotta clean up that embossing powder first. I really hate embossing powder on my desk, so something super important to me to get cleaned up before it gets messy. And then I'll heat set this, and then by then I imagine Leah's solid foil plate will be nice and warm, and we can switch over and let her do that. All right, and then here is that pretty shine on that all done. So I'm going to mute myself. We'll switch back over to Lea and let her solid foil, and then we'll both stencil and ink blend.
Heat embossing is so pretty. All right, that was like perfect timing. My solid hot foil plate is fully heated up. For reference, while Heather was heat embossing, I was letting the solid foil plate heat up 2 times. Mine, just based on my system, really does require the heat up time of about 2 times. So the way that I reset that is I let the timer go, and then I just remove the platform from the base, put it back in, and basically just restart the cycle again. And so I just do that twice in order to get good solid foiling results. So I solid foil the same way that I standard foil. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the platform from the base first. And then I'm going to put the foil pretty side down. You just want to make sure the design is within the confines of the plate. And then I'm going to layer cardstock over top of that, and then add those same 2 shims that come with the machine with the frosted green plate closest to the heat source. Now, the only difference that I do is with the solid plate, I do run it through my die cut machine, both forwards and backwards. There's no real risk of shifting or haloing when you're doing solid foiling. And I just feel like that little bit of extra time or that little bit of extra pressure really helps a foil stay or, adhere to the paper. So I'm done. So I'm going to go ahead and flip my foil system off and just set it over to the side to cool off. Let's real quick before Heather and I jump together, let's just peel back and see the result of the solid foiling. And look at that. It ended up perfect. So hopefully these tips and tricks help you be successful in your solid foiling. So I'm going to push back up to me and get my camera all switched over to my desktop view as well. Give me just 1 second.
Yeah, and while you do that, I won't start stenciling or anything yet. I did see a couple questions go by. First of all, about the glass mat that we're using for both of us. It is the We Are Memory Keepers. I think it's 18 by 32 or something like that. Don't quote me on that size. But we both use the same one. And then someone else asked if we didn't heat emboss what our favorite color to stamp this in. If you still want kind of that gold look, we often like to stamp with warm buff. We call it faux gold. So if you kind of want that gold look without the heat embossing, that's a great way to get that.
So you'll notice that I had put my hot foil plate onto my glass mat. What we have found is that actually disperses the heat and cools it off quicker. And so now it's already cool and I can go ahead and put it away. So just a little tip about that. So I'm going to set aside the solid foiled piece for now. We'll die cut that later, but we have some ink blending to do. So
yes. And Jenna asked about if we use hammer mill or tried other cardstock with success. We like hammer mill is our favorite. But if you go watch our foiling 101 videos, I went through a huge long pile of different cardstock and foiled and showed all the results. So if you want a quick look, for me, everyone's machine is a little bit different and you might have different results, but that's a great way to kind of see. But hammer mill is just kind of our tried and true best choice.
Hammer mill is definitely my preference because it also ink blends so beautifully. And in the end, I feel like with all of the great features it has, it's actually really cost effective as well. Like it's not, it's gotten more expensive just with, the paper industry and supply chain issues and all of that. But I still think in general, it still is a really great price.
I agree.
All right, I am grabbing my ink stands here. And I have to look at the stencils to see what is what here. So I do mine. What order are you doing your stencils in today?
I'm just doing them in order, I think.
Okay, so I probably need to put mine back.
But I can switch that. I've already got my first one.
That's okay.
But I was gonna say we could still do it in different
Normally I would do these out of order. I'm just gonna go ahead and do them in order.
And you can see, like I said on here, the stencil is not perfectly lined up, but at least it's not like on a complete diagonal. So it made it easy for me because I like to take mine from the back to hold them down. You can see how Leah's is kind of more at a diagonal. It's not a big deal. It all works. That's just if you wanted a little more square, that's why I lined it up like I did with the stencil.
Yeah, I have I don't have, my brain doesn't have the capacity for that, especially for hot foiling.
Yeah.
So
Hot
because
foil
I
would
take
be a
mine
no.
down directly to the surface, I don't worry about it.
Right. That's why I love that we all have our slightly different ways of doing it, and we can
Absolutely.
share what we
All
like.
right. Well, I'm starting with fresh pear, so I'm going to pick my little pastel.
Yeah, I'm doing olive, so I'm going the dark. So my card today, this rosebud, it was kind of like an afterthought. It made me think of Beauty and the Beast. So I'm going to be pairing it up with the Terrarium dye and kind of doing a theme. So that kind of required a little more just basic traditional colors like
Absolutely.
it came with. So I'm kind of excited to see how this comes out. So,
And I'm kind of doing like the typical Lea pastel, but we're doing pink and
Mhm.
yellow roses for mine. So
I can't wait to see that too.
I think we're going to have a good mix.
I think so too.
Oh, Pam just received her solid hot foil plate. So that's really exciting. We've got lots of great tips for you in our lives. So if you find yourself having a hard time getting it to work, we've got lots of troubleshooting tips out there. We even actually have an entire 1 hour class devoted to using the solid plate. So definitely check that under our foiling playlist here on YouTube.
Yes.
And plus we use it a lot in lives too. So you can also check past lives and see if we've used it just to get more education on it if you'd like.
Yep. Especially if you have, specific sets that you own and you want to see them used, that's also a great way to.
Absolutely. And solid foiling is quite bold, so it's kind of also fun to get ideas on how to use it, how to use that solid foiling.
Right.
Okay.
I love like the deep dark colors with the heat embossing, just how it gets all the little nooks and crannies in there.
Right, I love that too. All right, well
Ready?
there is stencil number one. Very
And this one I
different
feel like
shades of green.
once I did the first time I used this set, the first time just stencil 1 and 2, I was almost like, it's good, it's done. I don't have to do anything else. But then it's next level when you do the next one. But
That is pretty.
this one's one of those ones you can get away with just 2, and it's amazing.
Before I line up my stencil, I'm pretty certain that on my last pink time I used pink on this brush, I'm pretty sure I used Raspberry Bliss. So I'm going to point out here, I'm going to clean my brush up a little bit. This is just a little bit of just standard isopropyl alcohol that you buy at like a Target. And I am just going to blot out any excess ink out of my brush, just because I do not want there to be any Raspberry Bliss in this Sparkling Rose ink. So, and the great thing about that is the brush is immediately dry and I can use it immediately. So just a little tip on how you can easily and quickly clean out your brushes.
And I waited.
And now
so
I will layer stencil too.
Yep. And say I was waiting until you did that so that we hit it at the same time.
Okay,
I'm
going to do multicolor. The rosebuds are going to be multicolor, and they're very small, so it's not going to take too much ink blending to do them in the multicolor by any means. So I think I'm going to start with Lemon Whip at the base of each rosebud, and then we'll blend into the pink.
And since I did mine in one color, it was really fast. But I'll wait for you to finish.
Thank you.
Because it won't take very long.
Nah. All right. And then, so because I'm using color that I don't want them to blend together all that much, it's okay if they blend a little bit together, but I really don't want to make orange on my flower. I'm blending from opposite sides for my roses so that the yellow and the pink don't interact too much together.
I'm just showing you that first. Remember when I said how it looks
Ooh,
gorgeous?
that is
even with
so
nothing
pretty.
else?
Such a beautiful classic rose.
I know. Like
That's
you can totally do
lovely.
this and skip the next layers and it's already amazing. Half of me.
That's another cool thing to think about. And it's a totally other option when you're using our products is you don't always have to use every single stencil.
No.
You can stop at, the first couple of stencils and just have you know, the first layer. So definitely something to think of when you are using our stencils. And so then here is my little multicolor
That's so pretty.
yellow to pink rose.
So we used to have, when I was growing up, we had a rose and it kind of had those two colors together. And I think it was called a Joseph's coat rose. It was always my favorite.
Grandma grew them. And I think that's where my inspiration came from for today.
I love it.
I always loved her yellow and pink roses in her garden. So
that's awesome.
That is absolutely where my inspiration came from today.
I love it.
I don't know the name of them. You probably knew that one better than me, but I just remember them in her yard.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. This one, so stencil 3 is just greenery details. And basically, if you just get them within the leaves, you're good to go.
Yeah. There's not too much science to this one.
No, not too much fuss with that one. All right, so I just have to get the correct brush here. Stretch it out a little bit.
And these are like, there's some of the bigger areas where I'm getting kind of some depth, those little bitty ones. You just need to get color in there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, those little bitty ones, there's not much gradient that can happen.
Yep. This one comes together pretty fast because we've only got
There's only 4 stencils and the areas aren't super large that you're blending. So it does come together relatively quickly. This is one of those products though, and we do mention it in the descriptions. This is one where you really truly do need either the stamp or the hot foil plate to define the outline area. The stencils alone just really would look very abstract.
Yes. See what I mean? Like, it was so pretty with nothing else, but now that just adds.
And there's my little bit of added detail as well. Nice. Just one final stencil, and this one should come together probably really quick.
Yes. I would imagine so.
I am just going to go back to those same colors I used. We're just going to layer them one on top of the other.
Nice. And I'm going to go with my next deeper color. Berrylicious.
We're not ignoring you about ink colors. I just see that Kinnery is manning those questions pretty well. Yes. And I'm just going to let her continue to answer those for everyone.
That was easy. This is like the quick little stencil layer.
I got a couple of layers I got to do. Someone's going to take a little bit.
Oh, wait. I mean, not that the magic reveal on this one's much because the last one pretty much showed it all. But
I know, right?
We'll still do it together, that last one.
Perfect. And I'm just blending a little deeper on that tip so that it stands out a little bit more. And then I think I'm going to close this up, move these out of the way, and I'm ready.
Okay, let's do it.
You ready?
I'm ready.
And look at how fun that is.
There it is. I love it. Even that tiny extra detail. Like I said, it's so pretty before, but
it's so minimal. Yeah, but it's so pretty. And I don't know, I'm not sure if it shows up super well in video, but it is there and it's really, really lovely.
Yep. Same. Okay.
Erica, I think mostly we're showcasing the roses. I think Heather's going to show one more thing from the release for her sentiment. But today is pretty much about delicate roses. But keep an eye on all of our social media fronts. So both Facebook and Instagram, because I'm sneak peeking something new each morning.
Yep.
And today I did sneak peek delicate roses. So it's kind of a delicate roses day.
You got to have the week of anticipation, right?
Exactly.
It's like leading up to Christmas. It's like an advent calendar every month for release.
Right? So the week. All right. So I think it's time to die cut. I think Heather's doing the same thing.
You're going to have to die cut double. So
yeah.
But then I can go, so in between, in fact, I'll die cut now and then I'll kind of go through the pieces I die cut to, and I'll go through that other set that we're going to use. So
absolutely.
Now while you're doing that up.
There is lining her die up and she's going to go run hers through her machine and then I'll run mine through. Basically just taking the time to line up the die so it's nice and centered on the rose. And then you do want to make sure that you don't get too much tape overlapping near your foil because tape does pull foiling just for reference.
All right. There we go. Pulling all those little pieces out.
Okay. Get this die released here. And it is a pretty delicate design, so I'm going to just take the time to gently peel it away from its cardstock here,
Yes.
because it is quite delicate.
Take some
And
tender
I think
loving.
I'm in desperate need of new trays or
Same.
plates. So I see some areas where it didn't cut very well.
I'm in the same. Mine have been very well loved and
That, as you
abused,
can see,
dare I
like,
say.
look at this. It's, you know, so I'm going to have to probably break down and do some new plates today when we're done with this. And I do apologize if you can hear my dog barking. She decided that now is the correct time to bark at something going on outside.
Look at how pretty that is, though, all die cut once you get all those little pieces out. My voice always gets tired in these
I'm
lives.
trying not to rip it. So, and
Yep.
like I said, I really need new plates. That was dumb of me. I should have thought of that about that.
I know. I think I had the same thought as I started to die cut, but I think I lucked out. You can grab the bubble wrap and do that for the next one. At least that would
Yeah, I
save.
think I'm going to do that just because I don't think this needs bubble wrap, but I think I'm going to need it with these old plates.
While you finish that in die cut, I'm going to really quickly sneak peek the other thing that I'm going to use for the live.
Perfect. I'm going to go grab some bubble wrap real quick.
Go for it. Okay, so if you remember from our last release, we released, this isn't new, this is the banners that we released that went with this lovely one piece. Well, now that we have this great die, it's of course a great idea to have another set of sentiments. So we have, this is everyday sentiments that coordinates with the previously released basic banners. And it's got just a bunch of great sentiments on here again in all of the beautiful fonts that you always see from Pinkfresh Studio. And I have already, just to save time, because you know, we've got lots we're working through on these cards and to finish up. So instead of stamping and heat embossing and die cutting, I already have these that I've used for the release. So of course you stamp them, heat emboss, and then you have all of these pieces. I've already used a couple, but I've got all of these ones left. And I love how they're all different banner shapes, different sentiments, different fonts, just fun and beautiful. So I'm going to use one of those on my card. I haven't fully decided which one yet, although I think I'm leaning towards this one, perhaps. Not sure yet. We'll get there. I don't know. This one's also kind of fun. So I don't know. Even that one, maybe. We'll see. We'll get, when we get there, we'll see what fits on there.
Heather's having a hard time deciding.
I know. It's sometimes you look and it makes sense until you finish the card and then you're like, oh no, nope, that's not what I want. But they're also good.
Right.
How do you choose, right?
Exactly. And so as you guys can see, I grabbed a piece of bubble mailer that I'm just placing underneath, and this will help me get through the fact that I do really need to replace my trays. I think once my trays are replaced, this will not be necessary, but this will help cut this a little bit better.
But it also, if you do have trouble, it's not super shocking because this is a fairly large and really intricate die. So any little imperfection in your plate can affect how that cuts, kind of like the big cover plates. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong. It's just, it really catches all those little imperfections. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And
just
I can already see
that's
this cut out so much easier and so much better. So yay.
Yeah. So if you don't want to replace your plates and you have lots of bubble mailers laying around, that also kind of stretches out a little longer how often you have to do that.
And here's the great thing. So I talked, I think last week about plastic versus paper. So when there's a lot of little chads that you need to be able to remove from a die, like in some of our cover plates, I like the paper mailers better because they actually stick a little bit better. But I actually really like the plastic bubble mailers for when you've got skinny little intricate images like this, because what I've noticed with paper mailers is that those also kind of stick to the paper mailer as well. And as you can see, this one didn't stick at all.
So it's nice to have both. Save them all.
It is nice to have both.
Recycle everything. All right.
Right.
So
I've
already pre-done some die cutting just to save some time, but I wanted to show
I
you.
have to.
Yeah. There's always so much in talking that. So
I
real quick, what I have.
show you guys. I did some pre-die cutting as well from the spiral circle, and then I'll let you.
Yeah. No, I started, ironically enough, Leah and I both used that same Ivory Michaels glitter paper that she kind of got me hooked on. It's kind of like a really pale gold tone, but I cut it first with the blanket stitched rectangles, mostly because that's a perfect A2 size. Then I took my terrarium die and cut a window in it. And then of course, cut that bottom out of some gold cardstock. That'll go along the bottom. I thought about making this a shaker. I don't think I'm going to, but I also grabbed, so I have my white card base, and then this, I'm hoping this shows up on here. This is, I don't think I've even used it yet. But this is some Lawn Fawn pearlescent vellum, and it's really pretty. It's like iridescent and shiny and just so pretty. I'm going to tuck that behind that window because it's going to add just a little bit of a subtle shine. I didn't want to put my rose behind it because that's going to hide it too much, but I feel like it's going to give a nice, soft, pretty look that I'm kind of excited about there. And Leah's planning what she wants to do. I can see.
I'm just kind of looking while you're talking.
Yep.
I haven't fully decided if I'm going to use the solid piece today. I had it. I wanted to do it in case I wanted to use it. Like I said, I'm not for sure yet. I'm just trying to decide. So I did pre-cut just the middle spiral circle die from the middle of a white cardstock panel. So the spiral circle die is 3 pieces. It has an outer layer, it has the inner layer, which is what I used on this, and then it has the inner piece. So it really allows you to do a lot of different things with this die. So I'm just contemplating if I need to cut the middle out to help facilitate the rosebuds, or if I can leave it as is and just kind of tuck them in one of the spiral circle little cutouts there. So that's just kind of what I'm trying to decide right now.
You don't know until you get to the moment.
Exactly. And so I figured I'll do what I can, but I don't want to commit myself to something and then not like it.
Yes. And you can only prepare so many possibilities.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to just adhere my glitter paper down to my card base.
And I went ahead and just added some nice sturdy adhesive tape so I can put my pearlescent vellum just on the back of that window. Because then I'm going to pop it up with foam on my card base, I think, because I think that's going to kind of give that a soft look back behind there that will just make it look like it's floating a little bit more. So I think it's worth it. I don't know.
So I just chose a white card base because I knew I was going to cover it fully with the ivory glitter cardstock because I want that to peek through that spiral circle top layer that I have here. So I'm just getting it lined up as best I can. Oh my goodness, that like lined up perfectly. Yay, that never happens. Normally I have to like trim a little bit off.
You either have the magic of live or the curse of live. Today it was the magic.
Exactly. Where it's crooked, you know. Okay, so I think you have your sentiments pre-done. I think I'm going to get my sentiment stamped here.
Good plan.
Really quickly. I'm going to use one of the stamps from the stamp set. I know that this is going to kind of flank the side. I don't have like perfect placement of that yet. So actually, yeah, I think we're going to do It's the Perfect Day to Celebrate You. I could stamp it directly to the card base if I wanted, but if you all know me, I kind of like to add dimension. So I'm going to stamp it to just matching white cardstock. We're going to cut a couple of extra layers and we're going to build that guy up so it kind of pops a little bit off.
I always figure if you have the dies, you might as well use them, right?
Exactly. I agree wholeheartedly. So I'm just going to work on stamping that while Heather is over there working on some assembly.
Just using too much foam adhesive. You know how I am.
Oh, you never.
Never.
All right.
Heavy irony there. Sarcasm. It's kind of a thing. We both love dimension, so.
We do.
All right.
Yeah, Heather's rose is a Beauty and the Beast rose. It's beautiful. I think somebody said Sleeping Beauty, and I think it's Beauty and the Beast, right?
Yes, Beauty and the Beast. That's what I was planning on doing. All right.
All right. I'm just going to use detail black today for the sentiment.
All right. And then this
A little bit on my window that I don't want to transfer over.
Actually, you know what? As I do this, I think I'm gonna. According to me, I think I do want to add foam adhesive.
Stamp that one more time. I had way too light of a hand.
That's how you keep that sentiment dainty, so it's okay.
Exactly. Okay, that's so much better. First one, apparently I barely touched it.
All right. I'm going to stick this together. So I used foam adhesive for the bottom of this, and I also added liquid glue just because it's glitter and foil paper and everything, and I want to make sure everything holds really good.
That makes sense. So, as mentioned, this die has a coordinating die in the die set, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it out, and I'm going to cut a couple of additional layers as well.
Oh my goodness. Okay, look at this already. Isn't that magical? I'm like, I haven't even done anything but like set it on there, and I'm like, oh, love it.
That was really, really pretty. Definitely
What I was picturing.
Beauty and the Beast vibes for sure.
Now I debated on cutting that off and just using the one, but you know what? I'm okay if it overlaps. It doesn't have to be 100% realistic, and I still feel like it gets that point across of what I'm going for. So now we can start talking about those sentiments and pick which one. There was one that had slid off my pile that I was missing, so I do kind of like that one.
I'm just answering a question from April. So the die set for Delicate Rosebuds, it has 2 dies to cut out the 2 kind of more like main sentiments in the stamp set. So the ones that have are a little bit bigger and have a little bit like more of a scripted look in them. So yes.
All right, I'm not necessarily narrowing this down any now. I might have to, no, not that one. Might have to take some votes. Not that one. No, okay. I guess technically I've narrowed it down to like 3. So we might have to take some votes on what everyone likes best.
And I am just cutting out a couple more layers of that sentiment so that I can stack it together and pop it up and give it a little dimension. That's all I'm doing over here.
Yep, and I should start getting ready to.
It's kind of a boring step, but it's definitely a very necessary step to me anyway.
Yeah, that's vital. That's vitally important.
It's vital.
Okay, I'm just going to kind of floof up the edges of everything on this, and then I'm going to get some little strategic bits of liquid glue on here so I can adhere this down and tuck it, because I want to leave some things floating free for dimension.
That makes sense. Right. I'm just going to start stacking my sentiment here.
Right, I think
we're doing pretty good on time. We still have 15 minutes.
I know. We might be able to get our bling on there and not even have.
We might.
Okay. I'm going to commit to that placement there.
One more layer here, and then I kind of need to start fussing around with placement of all of my things on my card. Or we could run over.
This makes me, I hope this shows, can you see that like iridescence on the vellum behind there, and then the gold glitter, and then the
vellum, but that's really cool.
In real life, it's so fun. Like glamorous.
And then I love it. And so see, even though it's going, basically I could have just stamped the sentiment right there. It would have been totally fine. And it would have made it a little bit less dimensional. So if you want a card to be less dimensional, you absolutely could just stamp the sentiment directly to it. But I love the little bit of natural shadow that it adds to that card front by popping that sentiment up with the foam. Or if not with the foam, with the stacking the layers. Speaking of foam, it is my time. It is my turn to do the foam tape layering.
Yep. All right, you guys, which sentiment do we want? This one that says stay strong, my friend. I feel like that fits down there really fun. I really do like the hello friend as well. Or I like this one and I feel like it fits the show up and shine, but I feel like I like it best tucked under there, and then I feel like it sticks over more. I don't know. I'm not loving that one as much. I think I'm just gonna remove that one from. So it's hello friend.
Lois, it's either Louise. Sorry, I totally looked at the name wrong. Louise is asking what glue we're using, and I think both of us are using Barely Arts, right?
Yep.
Just Barely Arts Precision Craft Glue.
Stay strong, my friends. I'm looking to see. Someone gives
pretty.
a vote for hello friend. Oh, lots of hello friend. So
That's a hello friend, huh?
it looks like hello. Well, there's a stay strong. I know, and the show up and shine. That's what I liked about that sentiment. The shape of it didn't quite. I didn't like it on the finished card. I felt like these other ones fit shape-wise on here better. Not that there's anything wrong with the. Let's see. Yeah, because like I said, I like the show up and shine. I just didn't love it unless I tucked it under, and then it felt a little off kilter, like it was too far over, and I could put it. Yeah, I like the sentiment. I don't like how it fits.
Well, if you don't like how it fits, then I would say spit.
All right, I think there's a lot more for the hello friend, and I think it might be thick, but I think it fills that open area better. And by the time we add bling, I think it's gonna be just right. So we're gonna stick with that.
Perfect.
And I know I see a few people saying the friend is too large. I think it'll work when it's on there. And the beautiful thing we always say is that you can recreate these cards and you can do it a different way too, because
absolutely.
I can't do both, and I think both of them will work in a different way. So I just have to pick one eventually.
Eventually we have to pick something.
Yeah, Lori, I don't have to tuck it in. I just felt like if I was going to use it, I liked it better tucked in. Otherwise, I just felt like I lost the sentiment there. I'm also going to curl up the edges of the banner on this just because, more dimension again.
Absolutely. Cheryl just joining us, and she's asking what set we're using. Cheryl, this is a sneak peek of a set that will release in our June release this coming Monday. It's called Delicate Rosebuds.
Okay.
So not available quite yet for purchase, but you know what? I forgot to put foam in the middle. Oh, well, that'll be okay.
All right. I'll stick that on there and see how that curled up edges on the banner. I'm trying to show you so you can kind of see that extra dimension it gives. That, and then all of the leaves kind of popping up because I only put glue at the base of everything. So it just kind of builds that extra dimension. This might be my favorite card so far from the release.
Nice. I think I'm just going to kind of arrange the rose going up the side. I'm not even going to tuck it into this little spindles, I don't think.
Yeah.
Spindles. I don't know what made me. I don't actually like it not tucked in. I like it where it just kind of lays there. And I didn't want like too much of the solid. So I am going to use the solid piece, but I don't want too much of it I just want like a little hint of it to show underneath. So that's what I'm kind of fussing with over here.
Now I'm just trying to decide what I want to use to embellish. So I didn't pick any of that out in advance. Neither of us did.
Yeah. Gonna get some liquid glue, just a couple dots here and there. This thing doesn't have to glue down concrete by any means. I think that this will get mostly the solid piece glued down. And now I probably need to add a little bit on this side.
Okay. Got narrowed down now. I just have to pick.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
That's so pretty. I'm just kind of stalling as I try and pick which bling I want to use on here.
Here we go.
No, I don't think that
Oh,
one.
shoot. Don't do that.
That one.
Moving on me a little bit.
Okay. I think I've narrowed down.
Okay. And then I'm going to throw my sentiment on here. Knowing me, I will reinforce this a little bit when we end our live with some little foam dots just to make it stay in place a little bit better, but I want to get to bling as well. So that I can do afterwards. I don't have to show that whole process.
Nope. And I'm picking, I have 2 options for bling, so I'm not.
All right.
I just haven't decided which one of these I want to use, so getting both options out.
I think.
Okay, Tracy, real quick, I'm just going to answer that question. She was saying something about the bling storage. I got, because I've got them in the pouches, but this little container I grabbed on Amazon. There's lots of different options, but you can just kind of look on there, and I think they came in a 2-pack, and they're the perfect size for 3 across like that.
I didn't
They also
look,
work the other way.
but I actually think the Sparkle and Shine ombre drops would actually look really perfect with this card.
You
So
were
I may go with that.
that.
Yeah.
I looked at those too, but I think I'm trying to decide between Peach Fuzz and the iridescent clear drops. I'm gonna have to play with both to decide which one I want.
The gem pouches are really cute, aren't they? They're
Aren't
super
they?
fun.
I love them.
And I just got my storage at IKEA a long time ago.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to flip some gems over here. So I think the Sparkle and Shine ombre glitter drops are going to be really nice on this. And I'm pretty sure we just restocked them all. So I think I'm safe. I didn't look at it.
I'm pretty sure we did.
I'm pretty sure we're good.
I'm nearly positive.
All right.
Okay.
All right, there we go. I think I'm gonna have enough flipped over now. I always have to figure out where I want to put everything.
I know.
Oh, that must be a little big. There we go. There's a cute little trio. I like that little trio there. Just go with a couple of trios here.
Checking to see because I'm running low. Okay. I might have to just go with. So I've still got this storage, and I need more of the slightly bigger size that I don't seem to have in my 1 pouch, but I still fortunately have some spares in here.
There you go. And then maybe just one little guy down here. Yeah, I like that. I don't think I want to add any to the flowers. Nope. I want the flowers to show through the way they are. So we're going to leave those off. I'm going to go with that. I think I'm happy with my dual placement there.
Perfect.
And the pin is sticking to me.
I should have just gone ahead and kept going and not waited for you, huh?
Oh, am I beating you now?
Yep, you were beating me.
Apparently I was just a little more decisive today.
Yep, I think
on the bling. That's it. The only thing.
There has to be something, right? I just can't quite decide if I just want like a little cluster down here. I think think I might just like the little cluster. I don't know.
And it looks like Kinnery is picking the winner.
Oh, good, good. You're gonna have to watch for that because I'm trying to finish.
Yeah.
I'm running
Keep an eye
behind.
out. All right. Nice work. Victoria, this is our dual tip embellishment tool that we came out recently. One end there is the wax tip, and then on the other end is the pokey craft pick. And I don't know if it shows up on camera, but the one thing that's different about ours is the craft pick has the ball tip so that it doesn't really hurt if you accidentally poke yourself. All right, congratulations are in order for, drumroll, Norma Bears. You have won the entire June release. So you need to send me an email to claim your prize. My email is Lea@pinkfreshstudio.com. There's no H on the end of my name, so that's just LEA@pinkfreshstudio.com. And then I will keep hold of your information. And then once the release has gone live and we have gotten all of our other grand prize winners claimed and all of that, I'll send everything to our warehouse manager at once for that.
Congratulations.
So congratulations. Super exciting.
Very much. All right. Okay, I think I've got that down there. We might tuck some more on there, but for now, I'm just gonna call that good. Kind of a mix of a little trio and then tucking a little tiny row kind of up in that corner. Ready?
Very fun. Yay.
I love how these look so different every time.
They're so different.
I know, same set, totally different look.
I love that. All right, are we ready to flip?
We are. I'm just putting my embellishments away because I know I'll knock them over and make a mess if I don't. All right. Yes.
Totally
Camera
get that.
switching commencing. All right.
All right.
Thank you everyone for joining us today.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us. We hope you guys had a fantastic time getting a little sneak peek at our June release. If you want to see more, just check our social media each morning this week. We're showcasing something new each day. So we started yesterday. So we show, what did I do yesterday? Peony Fantasy. That's what I showcased
I don't remember.
was the Peony Fantasy set. So today we did Delicate Rosebuds. And throughout the week, we will sneak peek more until everything goes live in our online shop on Monday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time.
And to answer Tracy, you can't find it on the site because this is a sneak peek. It doesn't release until next Monday. So it will be available Monday. So sorry that we're teasing you, but
keeping you a little tease, but Monday morning, bright and early, you'll be able to find it right in our news section, or you can search for it as well. So we do have a scrapbooking live this week, Thursday, same time, same place. So Thursday, 12 noon Central Time, right here on YouTube with Natalie. So definitely check that out. And as I mentioned in the intro, now that we're kind of in our outro, if you want to keep getting our live emails, there is a preference button that you can hit at the bottom of today's email. And we would love for you to hit that and set your preference. Now, when you click into that, it kind of takes you, I think, to a different page. And the weird thing about it, and I did mention it, I did describe in the email how to do it, is when you click into it, both options for some reason are clicked. So you just need to click off the one you don't want. So if you want to receive the emails, click off the no, and then vice versa. Basically, you want the box in front of your preference that you want to be blue, and you want the box in front of the preference that you don't want to be white.
There you go.
Clear as mud, right?
Right. All right. I think that's all we have.
So, well, that is everything for this week. well, other than we'll hopefully see you here Thursday. We're live with Natalie. We will give away a $15 gift card code at the end of her live. And then other than that, we will see you next week. We've got our release on Monday, and then one of us will be live on Tuesday. I'm just not completely sure of who yet.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right. Have a good rest of your
All right,
week, everyone.
guys.
See you in the
Have a
chat
great
with
week.
her. Bye.
Bye.